Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton, and man, this was a struggle this morning. It seems that they have got some new requirements in place for doing the live streaming. So this one is not on the schedule, although it certainly was scheduled to be linked and live and everything. So we're kind of try out the new way of doing things. I hope you're out there somewhere. Let me know. So the topic for today, and I was supposed to do one at 11 o'clock and one at 11:30. So for all of the inventors out there, we're doing it combined and just hoping that it lands someplace for you. And I can see that my camera is just a little bit off. That's better. Stressful 30 minutes there. So it looks like we are live. And I have no idea how I managed to do that. So the topic for today was, what is your goal? My goal was to get on live. So let's take it from there, shall we? I ask a lot of inventors when I sit down the first time and visit with them, and tell me what your goal is. Where do you want to be in 5 years? And it always kind of gives me a chuckle when I get the variety of answer. I just want the product out there. Well, that's a good one. We can see what we can do about that. At least it's realistic. I want to be retired on an island in, the Caribbean. Probably not going to happen, at least not with this round. And then I get someone who says, well, I just want, I want the product to serve, the community and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about some realistic goals. First of all, is most inventors are not doing it really, when you get down to it, not doing it for the good of mankind. Everybody wants to at least make some extra disposable income, which is what licensing does. When I get somebody who says, oh, I want to be selling these and running my own business, that's about as much of a reality check as living on an island in the Caribbean. All right. Most inventors, and granted, there are exceptions to everything. And when you are one of those exceptions, that's great. You get a pat on the back and attaboy, attagirl, whatever. When you are that first time or an early stage inventor, or even a repeat inventor, a serial inventor, as we frequently refer to these people, ideas, we want to get it into the marketplace, and you want to be able to get a return on your money, a return on your investment. All right, so what does that look like? So first of all, when you're looking at how much do you have to put into it, to be able to start getting something out of it. And for a lot of inventors, that's just takes your breath away. Minimum, you're looking at $75,000 to get teed up for licensing. And I've got a couple now that got a really cool product. We've had an offer. And these offers generally swing with how much you've done on the product. So, they've got a couple of functioning prototypes, intellectual property that has issued. All right, gives them a little bit more leverage than if they had just filed and they were still pending with just prototypes. So what the offer was 3%. So when we talk about the average of a licensing deal being 5%, all right, it's an average. All right, that's why we call it an average, is because there's a swing on each side of that. Now, I've seen the pendulum swing real far the other direction, but the inventors had product already on its way from China. They already had orders. They had done a lot of the marketing. So the licensee was just stepping in now and starting to do the heavy lifting for them as far as the manufacturing. They realized they just didn't want to be doing the manufacturing part because it took too much time away from what they felt was their real skill set, and that was the reaching out to the community and educating users on the product. So that was a swing on the other way. But the swing, then back the other direction is when functioning prototype, patent pending status, and the licensee is going to do all of the design work, the prototyping, the manufacturing, and getting it out there into the market, which is what they do. It's just the more you bring to the party, the little bit higher you're able to ask for in that 5% average. All right. So when you look then at, where do you want to be in 5 years? My friend George would tell you, exhausted is where he is after 11 years of being a startup. And you don't really think of a startup as being over a decade, but he still considers himself a startup because they are still struggling. And, while they're selling in many countries, I think the struggle is not nearly as much financial these days as it just is energy. All right. So you got to keep that in mind too. All right. There isn't, at a certain point, you just don't want to have to be putting all of your energy into running just that business. When you go to the bank, you want to start putting money in and seeing the profits grow. And so you can go out and then do other things and do the other products. So when you look at what is your goal, where do you want to be in 5 years? All right. When you say, well, you want to be a successful startup and making millions of dollars, that's not real. All right. Successful startup means you are working your tail off and you are exhausted and probably financially depleted. So when you're looking at those goals, you need to be real with yourself. You need to be honest. Okay, so Archimedes' offspring. Now let's bring that back around and kind of close up the circle. What does Archimedes' offspring help you do? All right, first of all, we help you manage that early expenditure. We are your mentoring team. And when we look at then giving the funds out, we do that heavier lifting for you on looking at good service providers, knowing where money should be spent, and hopefully eating the indigestion that bubbles up during the night when you wonder where's your next dollar coming from. So that's part of it. All right. The other thing is the outreach. Where's the product going to be placed? Who is the potential licensing people? We want these guys lined up even before we go out the door with investor money. We want to know from the investor side of it and the Archimedes offspring side of it, what do we see as the goal for this product? What do we see that's being real for this product? So I can pretty much guarantee you it's not living on an island in the Caribbean. All right. Does it mean that you might get to vacation on an island in the Caribbean? Maybe. Buy a new car once a year. Take care of what's on your bucket list. All right. So there's things that, you can know that you can do. For some inventors, they want to be able to go on to their next idea. Others inventors, their goal is that they've got 5 or 6 products in the marketplace. Sometimes they just want to help doing the new design work and keep the product alive and the intellectual property moving forward. Others like going to the trade shows. They want to know what shows are going to be available to them now. Can they go and help talk about the product? Frequently, the inventor, you are the best spokesperson for your product. So when you're starting to keep those things in mind, all right, when you're starting to look at what your options are, keep those goals realistic. All right. And for the people who just say, I just want to do it for the good of mankind, you're probably talking about software, and generally that's all you're going to get for it is satisfaction that you did it for the good of mankind. Most products are out there because people want to see a return on their investment. They're real happy to be able to put something into the marketplace that's going to help people. But still, they're not looking at spending $75,000, $100,000 on just attaboy. And that's not what Archimedes offspring is all about either. So hopefully we got over the technical difficulties today. I will spend some more time learning how to do this so that we can be back on track by Monday. Have a wonderful weekend and give me some feedback. Let me know if you saw it. All right. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Oh, you might want to know how to get a hold of me. Sorry, still a little rattled from the frustrations. Rita at ArchimedesOffspring.com, Rita at InventorLady.com. Like I said, give me a little bit of feedback. Let me know if you're seeing it. Thanks so much, everybody.